Bill O'Reilly, it's good to see you. And good luck on your trip.
Thank you. We're off to China, and we'll have extensive reporting on NewsNation when I get back.
Now, is this true that this is an extension of 23andMe and that you actually have family there? Is that true?
Maybe. I'm open to all suggestions, Cuomo.
So,
but we got a nice invitation.
What do you make of the idea that these savvy guys, okay, known for being savvy political insiders, were hoodwinked by the Biden administration into believing he was just fine?
Number one, I don't make anything of anything, and it's a cliche now, what do you make of it? What everybody is missing in this story is that people like Jake Tapper, and I don't want to pick on him, and full disclosure, I despise him, and I have for decades.
Full disclosure, I don't.
Yeah, look, different strokes for different folks, as Sly and the Family Stone once said. But I'm not the guy to talk about Jake Tapper because I just think he's the worst. But what he did, irrefutably, was what I'd say 75% of television journalists do. They're mercenaries. They sell out for the money. CNN's posture, and you know this, you work there, is that the Democrats are better than the Republicans, the MAGA people and Trump are bad, and they peddle that for more than a decade. Jake gets a big check from them. He's not going to go against that orthodoxy. But it's not just him. It's people on Fox. They do what they're told. It's people on MSNBC. They're the worst. And, you know, Joe Scarborough used to be a Republican. Oh, come on. Nicole Wallace worked for Bush the Younger, I think. It's ridiculous. That's what's happening. So people want to make money in the media. They're offered a contract. As part of the contract, they have to do what they're told to do.
But CNN didn't pay him for this book.
No. It's not about the book. It's about him and his tenure at CNN, which led him to be soft on Biden because the network wanted Biden to beat Trump, as you pointed out.
But why would you write this book
when
you know it's so easy to show that you went along?
Because of money. Tapper wants money. And now I know how the book business works because I'm the best-selling nonfiction author in the world. So Tapper and this other person, who I don't know, pitched the book through an agent to a publishing house, or maybe two or three, and the publishing house writes out an advance check. But Tapper has to tell the publishing house what the book is. Mm-hmm. Can't say, well, I'm just going to write a book and find out where it lies. No. Book has to come in, I'm going to scorch the Biden administration. I'm going to say that there was a cover-up about his mental acuity, and then you write a check probably around $500,000 to both authors, and then they get a back-end deal where how many books they sell. They did it for the money, and they are on television for the money. This is what people don't understand. They think that journalism is some pure profession. It's so corrupt, it's nauseating.
I don't know. I think it's better.
Nauseating.
I think it's better than most things. I've been around. I think there are a lot of people who do it for the right reasons. I think there's a lot of pressure on the media right now. And a lot of it is a lot of it is unfair. There's so many false
pressure
narratives.
In the media.
Listen,
no pressure.
Bill,
look, Cuomo, there's no pressure on me.
Bill,
it's easy for me.
Yeah, it's because
I just tell you the truth backed up by facts.
You're one of their guys. What I'm saying is, as someone who's not one of their guys,
I'm an independent.
They like you.
Totally independent.
They like you. Okay.
Maybe they like me because I'm fair to them. Maybe they like me because I'm fair to them.
I would definitely say you're fair to them. I would say even more so. You're the best they could hope for.
Well, then you'd have to prove it.
What I'm saying is,
you'd have to prove it.
Okay,
and you can't.
I'll put a list. What are you talking about? I could put a list. If I had firecrackers blow off three fingers on my hand, I could say how many times you went after Trump on this show.
Oh, baloney. That's a lie.
It's not a lie.
Can't back
it's
it
the
up.
Truth. I just backed
Yes,
up.
it is. It's absolutely. No, you can't. Run a clip. I criticize Trump all the time. He's mad at me half of the time because I call him the way it is.
All right, anyway,
look,
this isn't about you.
You got the clips, run the clips.
This isn't about you. I got plenty of clips of you saying stuff. How many times have you said, Bill, something that you've never said about anybody else except Trump, which is, That's how he is. That's what he says. That's what he's going to do. You know, like you were excusing a dog. You know,
not excusing,
anybody else,
it's an
you would excoriate them.
No, it's an explanation of why he does what he does. The reason I'm going to China is because the United States of Trump is a very hot book in Beijing, and the government invited me there to talk about the United States of Trump, because the book is a factual basis on how Donald Trump runs his life, and by extension, the country. That's why I'm going there. If they thought I was in the tank for Trump, they wouldn't have invited me. But they know that on subjects like Greenland, on subjects like Putin, and I have been, look, you can laugh all you want. You can be condescending and
I'm not
jerk,
condescending. I'm laughing. You say subjects like Greenland. Like, what was there to Greenland? You think Trump is going to do anything with Greenland? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying.
I said he
Come on.
I told him he shouldn't be saber-rattling about Greenland.
Yeah, you were
right.
What
do you want?
No, here's what I want. I want to get off of you as a topic. What I'm saying is, with this book and what they did, there is no cover-up of Biden's health. What they did was certain members of the media decide to not push it the way they would have if it was Trump's health. If it was Trump who had a mental acuity problem to the same degree as Biden's, they're both old guys, but they would have jumped all over it 24/7, but they didn't want Trump to win. So they played down what was obvious about Biden. But it's not that there was a cover-up by his staff. What did we not know that there is to know? That he forgets names and dates? We saw that on TV together.
You don't, look, out of his staff and the Democratic Party came a consistent drumbeat of the guy's on it, the guy's good, the guy's doing his job, the guy's good for America, consistent almost every day. Then they keep him away from the press. He doesn't talk to the press, okay? That's covering up who he is.
Not spinning.
And then every time he made a mistake, there was another excuse. And then the CNNs of the world and the MSNBCs of the world, open border, they didn't care about the open border. All right, inflation going more than 9%.
Different. That has nothing to do with his mental health.
They didn't care about that.
That's just bad policy.
Sure it does. He didn't. Yeah, but he didn't make the policies. He didn't make them. That's what you're making your mistake. He was a zombie from day one.
I've
on NewsNation.
I've talked to him about his immigration policies. They were all the same ideas. You know, he believes that there's an openness to this country and that we need new blood. And he was worried about the left flank. Look, I don't have to agree with you. You can yell at me.
Absurd. It's an absurd contention when you have all the problems that developed. It's absurd.
I agree that the position is a bad position. I get it's a bad position. I don't agree with you about that. I think he had good days and a lot of bad days. And I know people who are around him on a regular basis who would say, today he was good. Oh, yesterday he forgot where we were supposed to be. You know, I mean, he's an old guy.
I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that because my mother had a condition similar.
Yeah, my father.
She had some good days.
Yeah.
But they deteriorated.
Yeah.
But Biden was not running the government. And the book says that. Says that Ron Klain was running it, and that's probably true. You may remember I was the first journalist on television in the country on NewsNation. I made the announcement that Biden would not run again. Okay? He wouldn't. I made that in January, talking to Leland Vitter. You can pull a clip. And you knew, and what you said was true. You knew it. I knew it. He wasn't in charge. He couldn't run the country. Now, let's advance the story, Cuomo.
I think it's that he couldn't win.
This is an easy one. He couldn't do the job. This is an easy one. PSA test. Did Colonel O'Connor give it to him in February of 2024?
No,
yes,
as far as we know.
No.
Last one was in 2014.
Because O'Connor hasn't said a word.
No, the last one we see in the records they released was 2014.
We need to find out if a PSA test was given to President Biden in February of 24.
Why?
If it was not, why not?
But why do I care?
This is advancing the story.
That's not it. But who cares if he had prostate cancer or not? Prostate cancer isn't debilitating. People work through the treatment. You have a 97% success rate.
You don't think The American people have a right to know if their president has cancer.
This is what you want to spend time on when you got Kristi Noem doesn't know what habeas corpus means, but I got to talk about Biden's fundament?
Now we got to go into Kristi Noem.
Yeah, because it matters, Bill. That matters.
People
that matters to the American people. Come on, Bill. Give me a chance here.
We'll do another segment on it.
No, I am doing
another segment on Kristi Noem. Has nothing to do with Joe Biden.
It has to do with what you decide to focus on. You believe that the American people have their interests served better by knowing whether or not Joe Biden had a prostate exam when president than in discussing the fact that the woman that Donald Trump says is the best to keep us safe does not know what the core protection in the Constitution is against illegal detention. You don't think that matters as much as Biden's ass?
It's absurd. It's like comparing the NFL to the Women's Basketball Association. The American people have a right to know if their sitting president has cancer. Period. They have a right to know it. That's it. Kristi Noem doesn't matter to that.
I don't agree, by the way. We know they don't have a right. We know they don't have a right. They have at best an invitation to a privilege because the presidents have a pattern of only telling us what they want to. So you have no right. It is a privilege. That's why we get from Trump that he's my size and weight.
To know? I have never heard you like this.
Hey,
you don't think the American public has a right to know if a sitting president has cancer?
Bill, I'm telling you this.
Are you blanking kidding me?
No, Bill, here's what I'm saying to you.
Are you kidding me?
Bill, I'm not kidding you. You're saying they have a right. They absolutely do not have a right because we only get what they want to tell us. That's all we get. We have no right to it. There's no mandatory reporting. No, but that's how a right works. A right is something that is guaranteed and executed. We don't have that. That's why Trump gets to say he's my size, because we don't get the truth. We don't get transparency. We get what they want to tell us, right? In this instance, that's what it is. My point is prostate cancer.
You are so desperately wrong.
How am I desperate? What did I just say that is not factually correct?
The American people have a right to know about the health, both mental and physical, of a sitting president.
Then why is it okay
the Constitution
for Trump to describe his weight as maybe 60 pounds below what it is? What?
Now we're on Trump. Okay.
Well, he's not
Whatever
president?
he's doing, do another segment on it.
No, it's
Stay on
that's
track
not how it
here
works.
with Biden.
Just because you don't want to talk about something doesn't mean I got to make it later. It's all related to the same conversation.
Talk about anything you want.
You can't tell me that prostate cancer, you're saying that we should have known about Biden as if he had a condition that was kept from us that was material to his performance as president. And you know that's not true.
Absolutely. No, that's ridiculous. If a person has cancer, of course it's affecting his whole life. What is wrong with you tonight? I've never heard you like this.
Bill, there are different kinds of cancer.
This is so irrational. I can't believe it.
Bill,
the Constitution
do you know
gives
anybody who's had prostate cancer?
Privileges. Yeah, I know plenty of people have had it.
Of course you do.
I'm not making a judgment on
Of course you do. And they all worked through it.
I'm telling you.
You don't know anybody who died from it?
Fine. The American people have a right to know.
But then why doesn't any president give them the truth about their health? Why does it have to be Biden?
You ask any president. Why does it have to be Biden? Look, if you want to try to justify this unbelievable cover-up that's going to rise as high as Watergate,
what is the cover-up? Watergate?
The cover-up. The man sat there for 4 years.
Biden's prostate exam worse than Watergate? I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, give it to me because, boy, you're killing yourself tonight.
Oh, yeah. I'm killing myself.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You have a right as an American citizen, Cuomo, to know if your president is infirmed mentally or physically.
I agree.
The Constitution gave the privilege to the press to keep an eye on these people so that we would know their status and condition. In Watergate, they covered up a crime.
Yes.
If Colonel O'Connor gave a PSA test that showed Biden had cancer and kept it from the public, that is a crime. All right?
I don't think it is.
So I don't understand.
I don't think it is. I don't think it's a crime.
Because you don't want to think it.
No, I have no problem with it being a crime. I just don't think it's a crime. What would the crime be?
The crime was he said that Biden was in fine health,
right,
both mentally and physically.
Right.
And if he gave the PSA and a PSA says he had cancer, that's fraud. That's a lie. He can go to prison, and he should.
I don't think the end part of that is right, but we also don't know that there was any such PSA test given. So you guys are just assuming they covered something up. How is there a cover-up?
Get him in. Testify under oath before a House or Senate committee.
And you think that's a good use of Congress's time?
The best. The best.
I wish you a very good vacation. You need the rest. Enjoy your trip over there. Don't run your mouth. I don't want them to keep you there.
It's a working vacation.
I don't want to have to come get you, Bill O'Reilly. All right? So just make sure you come back.
You'd be better off if they kept me there, Cuomo.
Hey.
that was crazy. With good television.
All TV aside, okay, I like having you on here. I like having you in my life. Don't get stuck in China.
It was very good television. No, we won't. It was very good television, and the audience can make up their own mind. We both put our cases up, and that's the way it should be.
My man, take care. Enjoy your trip. Be well. I'll talk to you soon.